Lupin the Third, Motoko Kusanagi, Cobra, Doraemon, Blackjack, Cutie Honey. Many an anime character are legends by this point. Characters that have endured for generations, various incarnations, and left an indelible impact on anime fans. This episode's subject is one such character, Captain Harlock. Captain Harlock was the creation of legendary manga author and anime director Leiji Matsumoto. Matsumoto was the man who basically shaped Space Battleship Yamato from Yoshinobu Nishizaki's original concept. In fact, one of the early concepts for Yamato was that Captain Harlock was the brother of the main character, Susumu Kodai. He was presumed dead from a battle against the Gamillions and struck out on his own. The Harlock manga series features Harlock as an outcast who rebelled against Earth's authority, fighting the power in his starship, the Arcadia, along with his crew of misfits. Harlock himself is almost a Randian figure of individualism, asserting himself in the face of an established order. Scarred but attractive, stoic, rational, but a little romantic, strong, creative, and mostly uncompromising. But unlike the Randian hero, Harlock broods, acts out of compassion, and does believe in altruism. He's not altogether ego-driven. Harlock has been in a lot of anime titles, with little or no continuity between them. You can go mad trying to piece together the chronology, so don't bother. Don't worry about what takes place when and what before and after, because it's not really supposed to add up. You just have to enjoy what's in front of you. It's sort of like Lupin the Third in that way. Harlock Saga is a 6-part OVA from 1999. It's based in part on the classic Richard Wagner opera Das Rheingold, part of the Ring cycle, and inserts Harlock and his crew into the events. The mythology is based around Norse sagas. This is an extremely high-concept OVA, and honestly, it both works for it and largely against it. So let's get started with the plot. A police spaceship crew monitors a meteor colony called Occlusion, which has suddenly fallen silent. They're baffled by what could have happened to a thriving city. Suddenly, they're boarded by two people, the space pirate Emeraldus and the squat Tochiro. The two request that the police vessel land on Occlusion, as their ship can't land due to a lack of spaceport. Apparently, it had been destroyed, and the bigger ship would have a better chance of landing. The woman in charge of the ship reluctantly agrees. The city is empty, but Tochiro and Emeraldus pick up strange readings from a building and investigate, finding only a hanged man and a woman named Mime playing an organ. Mime, the navigator of the Arcadia, is not really there, but being projected there. She warns her friends that bandits are about to steal the Rheingold, the holy treasure at the center of the universe. The mayor of Occlusion knew the location of planet Rhine, and so the bandits killed the citizens until he gave it up. In despair, the mayor took his own life. If the Rheingold is stolen, it means dark, terrible things for the entire universe. So, of course, the only thing guarding it are 3 singing maidens who can't do jack to defend it. Nice. Suddenly, Mime disappears and Occlusion blows up because her projection is explosive, I guess. Tochiro and Emeraldus trace the musical radiation in order to find planet Rhine. It's a gorgeous, pristine planet where they find the organ Mime was playing, and shortly after her. But it's too late.
3 priestesses that were guarding the Rheingold. I could not leave it to them alone. But I was of no use, and the gold was taken from this place. The gold that sat beneath the waters, under guard for eons and eons. It is the center of the universe, the essence of time. It rules the universe. Those bandits took the gold from this place, and their only intention is to keep it for themselves.
I can't imagine that a piece of gold could give you the power to rule the universe.
It is the Rheingold that makes such power possible.
And then, suddenly, the Arcadia approaches Rhine, carrying the man himself, the legend, Captain Harlock.
Tochiro.
Sorry I was too late, Harlock. I found Mime, though.
Mime. I've been worried about you ever since you disappeared. Return to the ship.
Thank you, Harlock.
Well, Tochiro and Emeraldus pick up Mime just in time, because without the Rheingold, the planet Rhine is doomed. The three maidens disappear in horrible waterspouts, and the planet itself is utterly destroyed. Kind of an overreaction, if you ask me. Meanwhile, an ominous figure in a spaceship has set course for Earth. The Arcadia picks up the likely trajectory of the bandits, and Mime tells the crew why they're heading for Earth. The mysterious man in charge of them wants to make a ring from the Rheingold, which can only be done by a special scientist on Earth. It turns out that the scientist has passed on, but his son, Tadashi, carries on his work, having been told about Harlock by his father. Harlock's friend Maytal warns Tadashi that if a man appears wanting him to make a ring, he should refuse. But our main villain has the ultimate weapon, peer pressure.
Obviously, a novice like you couldn't forge a ring out of it.
You're wrong. I can do it. I mean, I could. But I made a promise to someone.
Oh, never mind. I suppose my expectations were too high. I guess I'll find someone else.
Wait. I will make it.
Tadashi, being rock stupid, condenses the Rheingold down to one ring to rule them all for our masked villain, who is very ecstatic to have this garish bling of doom. And, shock of all shocks, he thanks him by shooting him. Dude, you're stupid. What did you think he was going to do? Slip you a couple of G's in an envelope and keep you on retainer as his jeweler? Well, apparently getting shot is no big deal, because 4 hours later Tochiro arrives at the lab and Tadashi just gets up with no apparent gunshot wound, even though there's a shell casing. What? Anyway, Tochiro offers to bring the big screw-up onto the Arcadia, and he agrees. Harlock should shove this kid out the airlock. So the bulletproof brat gets to meet Harlock, though I'm not sure how he can be useful to him. Maybe Harlock needs a jeweler. Or a human shield. Well, whatever it is, the Arcadia leaves the solar system with him as part of the crew. Mime explains that the head of the bandits, the masked man, is her brother Alberic. The two were part of the Nibelung clan, a powerful group that was wiped out. Alberic plans to use the ring to carry out his revenge against the gods of Valhalla, especially Wotan, the king of them. Shortly after this, the Arcadia exchanges fire with an attacking ship. Well, apparently it's some kind of matryoshka, because inside the ship is a smaller ship, which runs off. The crew takes a sample of the ship's outer hull, which is made of a weird metal. After that waste of time, we see Wotan not being a morning person. Because the Rheingold has been stolen, he has begun to age. The Arcadia tracks down the smaller ship to a strange planet with a giant hole in it. Tochiro takes a small craft and heads down into it because it's hollow. In the center, he finds more of the same material as that other ship. The material dates back several million years. Mime explains that the Nibelung clan has existed before humans, and even brought them up. She fears that a struggle between Alberic and the gods will result in the destruction of mankind. Anyway, after some hijinks, Tochiro is forced to get out of Dodge, since the planet is blowing up. A large fragment is flung towards the Arcadia, but it's blasted before it hits.
Oh boy! If that thing had hit us, even the Arcadia would have been history!
Meowth! That's right!
Can't these people go anywhere without it blowing up? I mean, I guess Earth was spared, but so far, Ecclusian, Rhine, and now this place are all space debris. Do not invite these people over. And honestly, the part with the hollowed out planet, completely worthless. It was trying to establish the age of the powers in play, but that could easily be explained in passing conversation. This bit took up an entire episode of the OVA and it was mostly fluff. And really, Captain Harlock hasn't done a damn thing this whole time.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Pomposity,
Lord Wotan and his wife Fricka are looking at their giant metal moon.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
Actually, it's some giant floating fortress they're having built for Valhalla's defense. But we'll get to that later. First, Wotan gets a visitor in the form of Erda, a prophet god.
Is it true that you have summoned Mime, the organ player of planet Rhine?
Yes. I want to see Mime, and also punish the fool who made the ring.
You mustn't. Stop this now. Immediately.
What are you talking about? Unless we return Mime to Rhine and get her to play the organ, we cannot slow down the passing of time. Look here. Look at my hand. I'm sure you can see the faint lines appearing on my hand. Look at them.
I understand, Fricka. But if we on Valhalla lose the reverberating sounds of Rhine, and if the ring made from the stolen gold creates a greater oscillation, the oscillation sent out by Freya's organ will be suppressed. Mime, like her brother, has never been one of our clan. She is a woman of the Nibelung clan from Nibelheim, and her spirit is the same as that of her brother, Albric. No one can ever control them. Not even you. Not even the God of Gods. But of greater concern are the ones Mime has been protecting. They are the creatures from Earth known as humans.
Humans?
Yes. They are a species whose ancestors were influenced by the Nibelungs long ago. If you summon Mime, those humans will come here as well. You must not underestimate these humans. They are creatures who possess all of the abilities of our clan, as well as those of the Nibelungs and the great giants of Risenheim.
You must be out of your mind, Elda. Are you trying to tell us that we could be destroyed by these humans?
I am Elda, the prophet of Valhalla. I can see the past and the future within my soul. That is why I know that we should not strike out at Mime and the humans she protects.
But we need to interrogate Mime on Alberic's whereabouts. We'll be destroyed unless the oscillations of the ring can be stopped. We will be mere skeletons left strewn in the center of the universe.
The Arcadia is pulled towards Valhalla by the giant space fortress, while Wotan waits impatiently. He decides to go with Fricka to the fortress to see why the construction has been held up. The two giants, Fasolt and Fafnir, who've been charged with completing it, relay that they felt unmotivated. They wonder about the request they made for payment for the fortress. The maiden Freya, who plays a mystical organ like Mime, and want to at least see and touch her to regain their vigor. Reluctantly, Wotan gives in to their demand, peddling in the flesh trade for the sake of Valhalla's protection. Well, this is an unfortunate plot element now, isn't it? Let's move on. The Arcadia makes a rough landing on the planet Valhalla thanks to Tochiro's skill. The squat man goes investigating the area and is attacked by a tentacle monster like a Japanese schoolgirl, and ends up separated from the crew, unable to contact them. Wotan and Fricka observe him, but their attention moves to Alberic's growing fleet on its way. Of course, it's Tochiro who stumbles onto Freya, the organ player for Valhalla. Freya tells Tochiro that she and Mime were both trained to play those organs a long time ago. Mime arrives shortly afterwards, and Freya faints. Meanwhile, Wotan and Fricka exchange the same bit of dialogue that's been repeated ad nauseum throughout the OVA, about how Valhalla must be defended or the universe is screwed, blah blah blah. Alberic's fleet jumps out of warp to where Valhalla's defenses await. The battle begins with Ride of the Valkyries blaring. On board the Arcadia, Freya explains that she and Mime help control the flow of time by playing the organs on Valhalla and Rhine. This allows Wotan to live a timeless existence. But despite Wotan's great power and largely ageless life, Alberic threatens his power with the power of the ring, which threatens to sweep the whole universe into chaos. Harlock's not taking that.
When you think about it, this is simply another dirty power struggle for someone's personal gain. We cannot allow people like that to sacrifice the very existence of others to their own greed. This universe is not just for them, it's for each and every one of us.
Harlock is pretty noble and cuts a great rallying speech, but that's really all he's done so far. I'm not really leaving out any great heroic actions he's taken in this OVA. We're in the penultimate episode by this point, and Harlock is barely relevant. Really, it's Harlock's friend Tochiro of short stature and large mouth that's really done most of the work. Whether it's investigating Mime's whereabouts, the metal of the attacking ship, the inside of the hollow planet, or finding Freya, it's all been Tochiro. Harlock just hangs back and comments now and then, and fine, he's the captain, but he's also supposed to be the main character, and he isn't. At least he's doing more than Tadashi, which is to say more than nothing whatsoever. The Meowth helmsman is doing more work. I guess they didn't want to title this Tochiro Saga, but they really could have. At this point, Alberic decides that he's done sandbagging and begins to use the Bling of Doom, making his main ship completely invulnerable. He destroys the ships opposing him, and Wotan has no choice but to depend on the Death Star that Fasolt and Fafnir built. Harlock has the Arcadia flown out to assist in protecting Valhalla, but Wotan and Fricka don't like his presumption. Lord Wotan contacts Fasolt and Fafnir, who've been studying the Arcadia, and order them to test the finished fortress on the meddling ship. However, the giants refuse to fire on a ship that has no intention of attacking them, especially since their beloved Freya is on it. But Wotan doesn't give a crap. He just wants to see the fortress's power. The giants invite the Arcadia into the fortress, where they'll be safe, and Wotan can hardly argue with Alberic nearly there. They reveal to the crew Wotan's intentions for them, which shocks Freya, and that they've decided to rebel. Mime argues that if they don't at least use the fortress to defend Valhalla, the universe will be destroyed. So Harlock and Tochiro decide to give Wotan a little talking to.
Who are you people?
They are the humans who came with Mime.
Oh.
Are you the great god or whatever that they call Wotan?
Where are Fasolt and Fafnir? I want to talk to them.
Well, they sure don't want to talk to you. I think you might have upset them.
Alberic and his fleet will be invading soon. We must defend Valhalla.
Defend Valhalla? That's not the way to bring peace to the universe.
What?
This is just a part of the universe. A place where one of the ruling clans live. And that's all it is.
Foolish humans! The source of all knowledge in the universe is Valhalla. Without Valhalla, there would have been no civilization in the universe, including that of you lowly humans.
I understand that, Wotan, but much has happened since then. All of the life forms that exist, including ourselves and you, now depend on each other to survive.
Right now, Valhalla is threatened by Alberic's ring. Without this fortress, there's no hope for you. Without it, Valhalla is a dead planet.
How dare you!
You lowly humans have no right to speak like that!
Wotan, I will take back Alberic's ring. But do not misunderstand me. I'm not doing it for Valhalla, but for all the life forms that exist in the universe.
I want to know your name, the name of the one who defies the god of gods.
Captain Harlock, a simple space pirate.
Mime tries to convince her brother to cease his advancement, which he reveals he's doing at least in part for her sake, so she needn't ceaselessly play the organ on Rhine. He wants to restore power to the Nibelung clan, but Mime isn't interested. This upsets Alberic, who... What's wrong with your face? Anyway, the Arcadia, under Tochiro's command, fires all guns at Alberic's ship, but he no-sells. the Arcadia is basically screwed. But then Fasolt and Fafnir activate the full power of the fortress, which swallows both the Arcadia and the invading ship. Inside, the power of the ring is neutralized. However...
Is everyone safe in there?
They are in the core of the fortress, in the fluid of the dragon.
Dragon?
This ship is not simply made of artificial materials and machines, it is also alive. By using the fluid of this space creature, it was possible to build a neutral zone of defense.
However, the fluid has grown more powerful than we had expected, such that we are not currently able to control it.
Does that mean Tochiro and the others will die?
Unfortunately, it is difficult for anyone entering the core to re-emerge from it alive.
But we did manage to contain the ring.
That's not acceptable. The ring has to be returned to Rhine. Tochiro, Mime, are you all right?
Yeah, we're okay over here.
Listen to me. Don't take even one step off the Arcadia. I'm coming down there.
You cannot. You will be attacked by the dragon.
I'm borrowing one of your shuttles.
Hey, what's this about a dragon?
Harlock and the Brat head into the neutralizing zone, with Harlock penetrating Alberic's ship and confronting it. The two exchange fire, but Alberic gets hit, and Harlock takes the ring and basically just leaves him there to get swallowed up by the dragon goop. Harlock makes his daring escape, finally having done something, and gets to the Arcadia. The giants decide to self-destruct the fortress to get rid of the dragon, ejecting Freya before they do so. The Arcadia escapes from the explosion no worse for wear, with Harlock intending to return the Rheingold back to where Rhine was. Not sure how that's gonna work. Wotan seems to admire Harlock's audacity as the Arcadia leaves Valhalla. But although things seem like they'll be okay, the remaining bits of dragon slime are spreading across the universe, which will awaken strange monsters on distant planets. But fighting those will have to be another story, because this one is finished. And that was Harlock Saga, a story with epic stakes and an epic's worth of padding. I would go as far as saying that at least half of the runtime of this OVA are long, wandering tracking shots and repeated, obvious exposition. They really could have excised a great deal of running time from this feature and made it 3 or 4 episodes, easily. It's not like they spent any real time developing these characters over that period of time. Harlock is just as big a question mark at the end as he was at the beginning, and really, he barely contributed to the main plot until the end. That kid from Earth was even less relevant. Why was he even in this? After he leaves Earth, he mostly just stands around taking up space. And really, if anything, as I mentioned before, this is Tochiro's story at nearly every turn. It's not without its charm and good ideas, some of what they did with the opera Das Rheingold, but Harlock and his crew seem almost completely unnecessary to the proceedings. Now don't get me wrong, Harlock's a neat character and the Arcadia is an iconic ship, but Harlock Saga is not one of his finest tales, nor one of Matsumoto's best works. But more Harlock will have to wait. Frankly, I'm tired of watching an anime where the titular character isn't even the main character. That is annoying. So next time, the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Wait. See ya!
Hier,